Hey guys, I hope you can hear me. We're gonna take things nice and easy today and not do very complicated stuff like we always do. So we're just gonna be solving for x. We're gonna do two. The second video will be uploaded immediately after this one. Uh, so yeah, let's get into it. So how do we approach this? Firstly, when you solve for x of a quadratic equation, you wanna get the two factors, right? And that would be that will solve the problem. And you would say, okay, 15, the factors of 15 are 1, of course, 3 and 5. Nice thing about 3 and 5 is that they're prime numbers. So it's really important to try and think of prime numbers when you want to solve quadratics. It's essential eventually. So now you get your two factors, and 15 of course. So your first factors is 15 and 1. The others are 3 and 1. The others are 3 and this. Okay. But 15 times 1 would be 15. 3 times 5 would be 50. So you wanna stay in this where you either choose this one and this one. The second thing you think about would be this factor here, 16. So you want your factors that you choose to either add to 16 or subtract to 16. So you test that. You go, okay, 15 plus 1, that's 16. Good for us. 15 minus 1, that's 14. 3 plus 5, that's 8. 3 minus 5, that is minus 2. And you check the symbol. Now, if it's positive, you have to have similar signs because you have the first factor. Let me just call it f1, and let me call it a big F because that would be function, right? F1 and then f2. So multiplying these two factors right here to get this number, if it's plus, you either have to get both minuses or both pluses, because remember, minus multiplied by minus is plus, and plus multiplied by plus is plus, and then minus multiplied by plus is minus, and the opposite is also true. So plus multiplied by minus is also minus. So you want those two factors right here to have the same sign in order to get the plus. So they're either minus and minus or plus and plus, right? So we have our two factors would be 15 plus 1. And I mean, you already see that it's going to be plus 15 plus 1. But yeah, you have to think about that. The third thing that is going to rule how you choose the sign of your factors is this one. So here, if we had a minus, that will be minus 15 minus 1, which should be minus 16. But we want to have plus 15 plus 1, which is going to be plus 16. So yeah, now let's erase all that and solve the equation. So that's why I said it's going to be a pretty easy one. It's not going to be a lot of things to do. It's not going to be a lot of stuff to do with it. So you just know that our factors is plus 15 plus 1, which will equal to plus 16. And we open brackets to solve this, and we go x 51 plus And now you have x plus 50 equals to 0, or x plus 1 equals to 0. So x equals to minus 15, or x equals to minus 1. So for how I wrote this, that's a terrible x. It looks like a multiplication. Sorry, I never have to do that. I shouldn't do that. So another way to approach this would be to use the quadratic formula. Maybe you're in an exam, you're really stressed, you only can think of 3 and 5, and you're like, oh, this is 8. How I'm not going to be able to solve this. What? Is to use the quadratic formula. Now, the case of using the quadratic formula is that it takes a pretty long time to then like do everything, put in a calculator and stuff. But it is going to give you the answer if you're not able to think of the two factors. So you know that the quadratic formula, if I open it, okay, so the quadratic formula is of ax squared plus bx plus c would equal to 0. So x would equal to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This plus or minus right here will then be able to get you two numbers because you're going to solve it in the minus and you're going to solve it in the plus. So a in our case was equal to 1, b was equal to plus 16. I usually write plus 16 because you sometimes write 16 or what, but if you write plus 16, you know that you didn't make a mistake or you didn't leave the symbol. So you have plus 16, and then C was plus 15. So you can write it like this, but or not. I mean, there's no, but it's just nice to say that you remembered the symbol. I should also do it for this. But you should always make sure that your A is positive. So if you had something like minus x squared plus 16x plus 15 equals to 0, then you would multiply this out by -1 on both sides. So -1, -1. Then you'll have x squared minus 16x minus 15 equals to 0. It's way better to have the a as a positive. It can still be solved when it's a negative. There is no bad things. Just sometimes you don't you kind of want to simplify life, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But you know, it's nicer, I guess. You know, your teacher to be like, oh, the student rocks. So yeah, it's when you, yeah, sometimes you can multiply it out to make things simple so that it looks familiar, because sometimes you're gonna have, if you have this, if you multiply it out, let's say you didn't multiply it out and you're gonna solve from this, so you're gonna have brackets, so you're gonna have minus x and then x, which is gonna be super annoying. So yeah, you're still gonna get the answer. It's not gonna deter you from getting the answer. um it's gonna be plus and plus. It's not gonna deter you from getting the answer, but you know, it is very, yeah. So it's not gonna deter you from getting the answer, but you have to be careful now because you're gonna have this, and um sometimes you're not used to it because now you have to like go, oh, and then maybe you make a mistake while transposing or something. So it's a nice thing to multiply it out only so that you get both positive x's, so that the transposing doesn't confuse you, because you are in an exam and sometimes you're feeling the pressure, or maybe you're excited. I don't know. You're excited, like, yeah, we're taking an exam. I don't know. I'm sorry. There's traffic where I live. I live next to like the corner where there's a lot of cars that make a lot of noise. Anyway, so maybe you couldn't get the factors. Now you can use the quadratic formula, and then this will save you some time. Not to save you some time, it's actually going to take a lot more time than that, but it's not illegal. It's still a great way to work. You shouldn't be punished for it. You won't be punished for it. Yeah, I know exams are really stressful. I'm not a good exam taker myself. So yeah, 4 times that 60 over 2, which equals to minus 60 minus 60. It's minus 16 plus or minus. Oh god, this is the square root of, right? Oh god, I forgot that. This is the square root of. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. Square root of. I'm like, there's something missing here. So it's going to be minus 16 plus or minus. Let me just check. Yeah, square root of. Plus or minus 2. That's 190. Interesting. 196 to the root of 196. What is that? Oh my god, the math is it's running away. Yeah, so it's 14. That's nice. I never knew that. So minus 16 plus or minus 14. You're gonna also have plus or minus on the thing, but also because you have plus or minus already, you're gonna multiply plus or minus with plus or minus, which is gonna be minus a plus. So yeah, it's the plus or minus, so it's still fine. Which then equals to, so now we have our first value of x. X either equals to that plus that over 2, which is 30 over 2, which is 15, or x equals to 16 plus 14, which is 2. Sorry, this is minus 15, which is minus 2. So that would be minus 1. So you still get the same answer as before, I think. Yeah, minus 15 minus. You still get the same answer as before, but using the quadratic formula now. So I would advise that you kind of learn your factors and work on that. But it's a very fun way to think. But if you're not sure about your factors and they're not working out, or maybe you're making mistakes, then go to your quadratic formula. I think it's provided at the back of your sheet. It's not like me who has to memorize it. Something wrong. I know there's something wrong there. Yeah, so it's at the back of your sheet and you have your calculator. You can solve it. No problem. Yeah, see you in the next video.